How's it going, guys? Today in this video, we're going to be going over Module 5.2, Day 2. I believe it's going to talk about modeling the linear quadratic systems as in word problems, right? So we're doing it with real-world problems. So in the beginning of your notes, I know we have the warm-up, number 4, and we also have these two problems, number 1 and number 2. For those two problems, if you want the answer to these, go on the key on Canvas. It should be there. You get the answer there. If you need to watch how you can solve this algebraically, I did do this in the previous video, 5.1 day 1, or sorry, 5.2 day 1. So if you need to watch how I do that, just go back to that video and watch that problem there. For this video specifically, I don't want it to be too long, and I want it to be focused on today's topic, which is solving real-world problems with a linear quadratic system. All right. So here we're told we can solve this problem any way we want to. We just need to solve it, and we're rounding answers to the nearest 10. So we're told the owner of a circus are planning a new act. They want to have a trapeze artist catch another acrobat in midair as the second performer comes into the main tent on a zip line. If the path of the trapeze can be modeled by the parabola, y equals 1/4 x squared plus 16. And the path of the zip line can be modeled by y equals 2x plus 12. At what point can the trapeze artist grab the second acrobat? So really we're saying that there's some trapeze. Don't really know what a trapeze is, to be honest with you, but I'm assuming he has some parabolic shape. It looks something like that, right? It's a positive, it's facing upwards, the x is squared, so it's vertical. So it's facing up, and we have this path of the zip line that's 2x plus 12. It's going something like that, right? It's increasing. It's going from bottom left to top right. So it'll be something like that. And we want to figure out when the trapeze artist can actually grab the second acrobat. That's what we're trying to figure out. So we want to figure out what the intersection of these two people in the circus are. So really, it's just another problem we did yesterday, or not yesterday, sorry, on the previous video. We just want to know the solution to the linear quadratic system, y equals 1/4 x squared plus 16, and y equals, that's a very ugly 2, but 2x plus 12. So that's what we want to figure out, and we're going to figure this out as soon as we do any way we want to. So if you wanted to draw a picture, do a graphic, you can. If you want to do this by elimination, you can. If you want to do it by substitution, you can. Whatever makes you happy. If this makes you happy at all, solve it whichever way you like to, and just get the answer. All right. So what we're going to do, I already have them set as y equals for both equation. I'm going to do substitution and solve this algebraically. So remember that you want to know when these two y's are equal to each other. So this second y, this y equals 2x plus 12. That's the same thing as this y right here. So if the second y equals 2x plus 12, that first one is also going to equal 2x plus 12. They're the same y with the same value. So I can just replace that first y with 2x plus 12 because I do just want one equation with one variable because I want to get this into a quadratic so I can actually solve it out. So if 2x plus 12 equals 1/4 x squared plus 16, I'm going to add like terms. And I'm going to move everything over to the other side. And minus 2x, I don't even have a 2x, or x on the other side. So I get 0 equals 1/4 x squared. 6 minus 12 is a positive 4 minus 2x. Let's actually rewrite that now. 1/4 x squared minus 2x plus 4. And what I'm going to do here, you don't have to do this step, but it is going to make this problem much, much easier, is that we don't like dealing with fractions, right? When we deal with fractions, it does make everything pretty ugly to deal with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of that fraction. Remember, multiplying by a reciprocal of a fraction gets rid of that fraction. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. So you get rid of that 1/4 and product x squared. Right? You don't have to do this step, but I promise you it will make it much, much easier if you do. So we don't have to deal with that with a fraction when we're using the quadratic formula or whatever we end up using. All right. So I multiply both sides by 4. 4 times 0 is still 0. That doesn't change. And on the right side, I have x squared minus 8x plus 16. Do not forget to distribute out that 4 to each term on the whole side. So x squared minus 8x plus 16. All right, so from here, what I need to do is I need to figure out how I'm going to solve this. If I want to use the quadratic formula, complete the square, or if I want to use factoring. And when we look at this problem, the easiest way to solve this is probably going to be by factoring. You could do completing the square, you could do the quadratic formula, you'll still get the right answer. But if you can use factoring, it's going to save yourself a bunch of time. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. So I need factors of positive 16 that add up to give me negative 8. Right. Factors of the c value that add up to give me my b value. And this is also why we multiply by 4, because if we didn't multiply by 4, it will be a lot harder to actually solve this out. All right. So from here, my factors of 16 that add up to give me negative 8. This one's a little tricky, but it's going to be negative 4 and negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 is a positive 16. Negative 4 plus negative 4 is negative 8. So I can rewrite this equation as 0 equals x minus 4 times x minus 4, or really just x minus 4 squared. So I have 0 equals x minus 4 squared, and the only x value that turns this whole thing into 0 is just 4. So x equals 4 is going to be the x value of my solution, but I'm not done there. Remember, I need to find a point. So I'll take this x equals 4 point, or x equals 4 value, and then I'm going to plug it into either one of these two equations. It doesn't matter which one you use, but chances are it's going to be easier to use a linear equation, so that's what we're going to use. Y equals 2x plus 12. So for y equals 2x plus 12, I'm going to plug in my x value of 4 to get y equals 2 times 4 plus 12. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 12, or y equals 20. So I have a y value of 20 when x equals 4. So my answer is 4, 20. That's when they can, when the trapeze artist capture, I don't know what it is. The other circus act person, I don't know, but that's what the answer is going to be. It's going to be 4, 20. All right. So really with these word problems, what you're trying to do is try to take out what's important on these problems, make your system out of it, and just solve whatever they're asking you to solve. All right. So that's the answer to this one. And I think that was really the only word problem we have in the notes anyway. So this isn't a particularly long video, and I'm just making it longer so that I keep talking. So we're going to end it right here, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. If you did need the answer for those first two problems in the notes, it's going to be on Canvas. Go on there, and hopefully that was helpful, guys.